Hi, Mossville. Thank you for joining me today. I'm on a little series that I call adages. Usually, we use the word adage as part of a phrase, like there's an old adage that says. An adage is a short phrase that maybe at one time was true, maybe today isn't. I'd like to look at two adages today, and they come out of the context of this virus that we are all facing and trying to protect ourselves and others against. At least some of the conversation has changed. It was that this was a disease that struck mostly the elderly. Very few younger people, healthy people, very few people under the age of 65 or 70 got the disease. Or if they did, it was so mild that they survived it. So first, our concern was, what do we need to do to protect the older population? Now, I like that idea. I guess I am part of the older population. And so I like to think that, people are watching out for me in my old age. We have now to the point where we wanted to know how do we ever end it? Truth is this virus will be with us forever. And so we'll have to learn to deal with it one way or the other. There are two popular ways of thinking about it and dealing with it. One is that sometime in the future, before too many more of us die, there'll be a vaccine to prevent it. The other is what might be called the battle or the survival of the fittest. In other words, let the disease have its course. Those who are older, those who are weak, those who already have underlying medical problems, they'll die off, but that's okay. The species will continue because those who are stronger will survive. I don't like that one so much. I'm not a likely candidate to survive this Corona-19. So, I really don't like this survival of the fittest thing. The Bible tells us in Psalms 90, verse 10, that we'll live to be 70. And maybe if we have strength enough, 80. Well, just turning 70 in December. I'm just part of that group that wants to know if I'm strong enough to make 80. These two adages seem to be in conflict. Women and children and the elderly, as it originally was written, first will be protected by the stronger. And the other one, which is the opposite, the stronger should be protected and survive for the good of the species, and that those who are going to be sick and those who die, let them be sick and die. Will be a stronger, at least the species will survive. Well, even those who see Darwin as the enemy of Christianity, what he did include in his survival of the fittest was also kindness. Maybe the fittest that should survive are not necessarily the physically fittest, but those who are the kindest, the most loving, the most caring, the most giving, the most generous. Maybe those are the kind of people that should really survive. Maybe it helps us think more about the compassion that we should have for one another, and especially those who are weak at this time, the elderly, the sick, the young, the poor. After all, isn't that what Jesus would do? And wasn't his life reflected the life of John Wesley, and we as Methodists are to do? We're to take care of the weak and the poor and the widowed and the imprisoned. And we are to care for those who have no means of caring for themselves. There's a way to live and a way to have eternal life. and that is to be like Christ, to pick up a cross daily and follow him, and to treat this disease like anything that comes our way in life, to treat it as Jesus would treat it, with compassion and kindness, helpfulness, generosity towards all those in need, regardless of their age, regardless of their health, race, gender. Yeah. Let's all have room in that lifeboat for one another. Thank you for joining me today. God bless you.